Well, this is development. Remember how I said that the moral for It Isn't Easy Being Breezies would have been done better if it was the CMC and their sisters? Thanks for proving me right, MLP team. Somepony to Watch Over Me is an Apple Bloom episode, and it starts out with her getting the responsibility of looking over the farm while AJ, Big Mac, and Granny are all out on business. Needless to say, Apple Bloom is freaking stoked for such a responsibility, as any kid would be when they're left on their own for the first time. Apple Bloom actually does surprisingly well for her first time, completing all of her chores and such in record time without a single thing going wrong. In fact, things only start going sour for Apple Bloom when AJ reappears in a panic, causing her to accidentally knock over a table and decimate the Apple's rather small kitchen. AJ then adopts a very helicopter parent-style attitude and basically makes Apple Bloom's life a living hell of pillows, helmets, and airbags. It's like one of those crazy mothers who wouldn't be happy unless their kids could wear Kevlar to school, which in of itself is strange, but it sort of works. AJ has always played the straight man in the show, the sanest of the main six, but this is her when she believes her little sister is in danger, which could just be the case if she were to stumble on a wheat thresher or something. Some might call it out of character, but when it comes to her family, AJ is just as mental as the rest of the main six. It seriously gets to the point where AJ puts airbags on every possible danger in the house, no matter how small. No sharp corners, no heavy objects, no things that could potentially fall. It's like one of those bad television parents that just about have a heart attack every time little Billy gets a paper cut. Speaking of parents, is that a picture of AJ and Apple Bloom's parents there? The ones that may or may not be dead? If they are, and it's not just a means to fill the room, then that's one hell of a nod and a lot of fan theory fuel. This entire time, AJ is being exactly what Fluttershy learned not to be last week. By being too kind, she's smothering Apple Bloom. Of course, since she's not an inch-tall interdimensional parasite, Apple Bloom decides to take matters into her own hands and complete AJ's pie delivery herself, sneaking out with the help of Scoots and Sweetie Belle. She actually makes it pretty far before she's stopped by the Chimera, which looks freaking rad, by the way, and manages to hold it off pretty well until AJ appears, having discovered Apple Bloom's ruse. And AJ kicks its ass! She just absolutely destroys this thing with zero effort. Honestly, I'm impressed. They deliver the pies, AJ realizes that Apple Bloom isn't a baby, and everyone goes home, happy, having learned that sometimes you need to let go of the things you love and let them grow on their own. Well, hey, would you look at that? This episode has a similar premise to last week's, and it does it so much better and so much more believably. It's almost as if the MLP team realized that the Breezy episode was a load, and made this one to get the moral right. There were some things that threw me off, however, and I can't call this episode perfect. AJ's sudden slip into insanity is a little fast, and there's also the fact she baby-proofs the entire farm in the space of about 3 seconds. That means that she was expecting this to happen, and was already mental before she left. We've seen her act rationally when it comes to her family before, but this is such an escalation it's a little jarring in truth. Other than her, the episode focuses so much on Apple Bloom that she really steals the show, and you can really see her character development shine through. Not to say that the rest of the CMC didn't have their day as well. For the few scenes they had, Scoots and Sweetie were on top form, once again proving that the songs on the show may not be as non-diegetic as we've been led to believe. Since the second Apple Bloom starts to sing, even getting the song's background to appear, her friends immediately cut her off, saying, "There's no time for another song," which got a laugh out of me. What more can I really say about this episode? It had a believable plot, all the characters were on top form, and it makes It Isn't Easy Being Breezies look worse by comparison. There's nothing for me to hate here, and the very few problems I have can be boiled down to the pacing of AJ's breakdown being a little too fast. Maybe my views are tainted by the episode that preceded it, but there's just so little wrong with this episode. What probably helps it along is how simple the plot is, which also kind of hinders it, as you can probably tell by looking at how much time is left in this video, as there's so little to work with that it's kinda hard to analyze this episode, which can be a good thing. Not every episode needs to be a massive fantasy epic. Sometimes a simple slice of life with some drama is good enough. Something simple to wash down a complicated, sour mess. And that's that. As always, I am Nozovix, and we have been staring at Somepony to Watch Over Me. Now I have a question for you. This moral obviously could be approached from so many different directions, and it's been approached from 2 as of recently. What other directions would you have liked to see it come from? How many character combinations do you think this could apply to? Maybe Twilight and Spike, or Scootaloo and Rainbow Dash, or if you'd like to see more analysis, if you click on this annotation right up here, that will take you to my decently sized now MLP analysis playlist. If you go to the one on the opposite side, that is my game analysis playlist full of reviews and trailer looking at and stuff like that. It's a similar Sort of set up to this, only it's about games, and there's not a cute little pony pointing it out for you. And if you just want to see more gaming content like Let's Plays, that is down below. Remember to like, comment, favorite, subscribe, and I will see you around.